Gold.
Asante sana mpenzi mtazamaji, mpenzi mkulima kwa kukubali kujiunga nasi. Kipindi cha Kenya's Gold kipo hewani bila wasiwasi. Kuna makala mbalimbali kemkem kweli kweli, dakika 60 uchambuzi makala hayo. Usikwende popote, usibonyeze kiduboshi chako. Kuna mengi ambayo kwayo tumekuandalia. Kalamu yako, karatasi shikilia papo hapo, andika ili baadaye tuende tutekeleze. Tazama makala ambayo tumekuandalia siku ya leo.
Hello, Mr. Kinywa.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, you? Welcome to this camp.
Great. Thank you so much for having us here. It's so nice. Like you have such a fantastic surrounding around you every day. Oh, naweza shikwa na stress kweli?
Animals, they are always appreciating you.
Yes.
So whenever I am stressed, I come.
What do you have here? Before I even get straight into my conversation.
For the animals. When I want them to come around me, I come with this Lucerne pellet. And I give a few, and they are happy and excited.
Right.
Yeah, it's made out of Lucerne. We farm Lucerne, and then when we have excess, we pelletize it. All animals love it, including horses.
Is that why you called it the chocolate for the animals?
Yes.
We have seen your farm, and there's a lot of good stuff that you're doing, from goats to sheep to cows to chicken. I've never even seen free-range chicken until I got here. Please tell me when you started your love for farming.
It has always been there, and I still do farming elsewhere. But for animals, this is the most intensive I've ever done. But it started as a passion. I've always loved to keep small stock, basically shots, sheep and goats.
Right.
And when I settled here a couple of years ago, maybe 6 or 7, I kept a little herd of Dorper for my own meat and for the family and for friends. And also I kept a few goats, Gara goats. And then I decided to improve on the genetics. So I imported a herd of 50 boar goats. And I started multiplying that. And also later I imported a couple of Dorper, which have been multiplying. Yeah, that's a journey.
What was your vision?
I enjoy having animals around me, but I want to be self-sufficient meat and for friends and for family. But then later on, I decided, let me improve this genetics, just for me to appreciate where it can go after seeing the need in society, lack of good genes, as we had said in a different forum, that your animal is what you feed them and the genetics they're made of. 50%. Right. So to improve the genes, we had to work hard and bring in a few exotics, which I say it again, we are multiplying.
That very first beginning with your first sheep, how many animals did you have?
I had 20 Dorpers and about 20 Gara goats.
How many are we at right now?
In this farm, we only have exotics, what we have brought in and multiplied. So we have about 250 here, and we have 150 in the other farm where we are doing crossbreeding. What's your target? Hopefully by the end of the year we'll be at something like 600, 650. And but we want to level out initially at 1,500.
Right.
And where we'll focus mainly on selective breeding for farmers who want, we can make it affordable for them to be able to improve their genetics. And then, but of course, we'll be meat producers because only 20% or 10 to 20% will qualify for breeding.
Right.
The rest will cull and it will be to go to the meat market.
Maybe if you was to advise young people like us and the Gen Zs that you work with, because you do have a lot of them in the farm, do you think that they need to be having, retirement plans from a young age?
They first of all need to hone in a skill. I've worked with Gen Zs who are graduating from NYS. Actually, they are the majority here. And they come with very specific skill sets. But then they have no experience. So we are giving them opportunity here. There are those who are picking on, who actually went through training on livestock management, other crop management, other irrigation. So the young people you're seeing here, all of them have a specific skill. Right. In the long run, what do they want to be? Each has to decide what they want to become. But I found them you guys, you are extremely practical in what you do.
Right.
And you are very efficient at it.
Who was your go-to person? Where was your source of knowledge? So that also you make sure you're starting out correctly on this passion of yours.
Yeah, I've traveled a lot and I've seen a lot of farms and I've seen a lot of different setups. And but a lot of what you see here, it has been a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of it you are seeing behind me. And they say you learn with your own book. There's nothing like livestock. It will teach you to learn from your own book. And that's one farming I've realized you got to be the farmer yourself. You cannot do it by telephone. You cannot do it from a distance. Unless you master it yourself, your employees can never be able to master it for you. So I've learned there's nothing wrong with not being skilled. I don't use that skilled labor. I cherish skilled labor. You can see, you notice here, I'm sure you met one boy, she is a vet tech, yeah, or paraveterinary. And we got in another one for the other farm, Jaramba joined here recently. Everybody here has a skill set already trained onto them. And the mistake we make is that we bring in people from wherever, and then we leave them with our livestock, and it's a terrible mistake we make. Because probably you want to underpay, you don't want to pay them well. I'm not saying we pay excellent, but we try to keep up with some standards of skilling and pay them reasonably, just to them to get a reasonable labor and employees in place. So that you can go to the levels you want to go to. But also, you are the farmer, they are not the farmer. You are the farmer. I wake up to this every day. And wherever I am, the first call I make of the day is about my livestock. Until I master it myself.
Right.
Then nobody fool anyone that this can be mastered or done by somebody else.
If I want to get into that space and I'm also running, another job, how do I make sure I marry the two and still have, a successful growing farm before I'm able to now fully be invested in that farm?
I don't know how they do it because I've never done it. If you can afford it, you can get very qualified managers. But I'll still tell you, they are not the farmer themselves. You are the farmer. But there are farms which exist on that basis. They are corporate.
Growing farm before I'm able to now fully be invested in that farm.
I don't know how they do it because I've never done it. If you can afford it, you can get very qualified managers. But I'll still tell you, they are not the farmer themselves. You are the farmer. But there are farms which exist on that basis. They are corporate farms even. But those are very clear systems and laid out procedures. For young people who want to start this space, and you're saying it's a side thing you're doing, I don't like using the word hustle, it's a side job you have, or you're moonlighting, you can start it, but it can only grow up to a certain size. It can't go beyond that, and expect a lot of premium tiers if you keep up. If you keep premium animals, expect. I have shared mine here, because initially I did it from a distance, and I know what happened.
Talk to us about some of the challenges during that period of managing your animals from a distance.
They died. I don't like talking about it. Until here is go to master it yourself. And part of it is, first of all, infrastructure was poorly designed. Number two, poor practices. Not being able to vaccinate, correct vaccination, protect them against the diseases. The other issues of a biggest problem is, especially the exotic animals, they came in and they're not used to the local ticks. They're not used to local worms. They're not used to local diseases. That was a very big challenge for me. Very, very big challenge.
Right.
Very, very big challenge. But with time, we have mastered it. Out of experience, we have been able to resolve a lot of these issues.
Talk to us about also some of the milestones and the joys that you have gone through.
My hand is growing. Look at this. When they hit out of my hand, it's a joy. This is anything. I mean, this is what I want. This makes my life. Look at this. They love these pellets.
All right, do not want us to continue with the conversation. All right. A typical day in the farm.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
right.
what it is.
Oh, okay. Clearly, as you can see, the sheep have decided to be part. Can I stand, dear sheep? Okay, sheep. The chocolate is chocolating. Can I stand? Thank you. All right.
Make sure that we on you.
Yeah. Oh, all right. This is a typical day in the farm. We were having a conversation seated and the sheep decided to be part of it. What a joy that we are experiencing right now. Mr. Kinyua, just to continue with the conversation, maybe you can tell us what are some of the things that you have seen other developed countries doing that you think it's high time that we adopted, especially in our livestock department here in Kenya?
I can tell you, passionate farmers don't have large tracts of land. Not many are there. The large tract of land, we have a lot of land which is idle. In fact, I don't know why the government can't think of taxing that land to make these farmers farm it. I will advocate for that. We have small holdings. This is like 20 acres. I'm very glad we are privileged. We have 20 and a few others here and there. So we farm fodder. And that fodder is what we feed our animals in a controlled and restricted environment. I repeat again, we don't do zero grazing. I don't advocate for it. So we have restricted paddock areas. And the rest of the land is irrigate, premium crops, and mainly lucerne, like that which has been pelletized. We also farm hay, and we stock it, and other premium fodders, which then, because you're irrigating, something like lucerne you harvest every month, and you have enough forage from a restricted area around the year, and more than enough fodder bank. We call it a fodder bank.
Fodder bank, yeah.
Where we have also silage.
Right.
And it's store. And if you have a small holding, that's the way to go.
Do we have enough fodder banks in our country?
You do it as a farmer. A good practice is where you have enough fodder for the next 3 years. That's our target. There's some dairy farmers who have up to 10 years. That is, any dairy farmer would tell you that they have their bank somewhere.
Right.
And a bank is just basically the infrastructure you've seen we built for fodder, for silage, and that's it. You can keep as many, whichever numbers you want. Yeah, but you got to understand how to farm it.
Are you passing down some of these skills that you have gathered to probably your children and more younger people so that we can also embrace agriculture?
All these young people here, we work with young people and women from the local Gishagi, and there are a couple of them here, single mothers, and we are very glad they can find a livelihood. There are people who say they are learning something. We are running an open system, that's why I'm talking, but because I want to teach something about farms and farming and some modern practices and encourage it. That's why I'm here.
Now, we want to know...
Importers of meat. How can you work in that space? Our agriculture is a disaster. It's very sad. But I'm not in that space to comment to those who are able to work it, let them do it, and hope some plans will materialize some practical solutions. Now, but something I needed to say about how we work here. We have a borehole, I said earlier. That borehole there pumps water using solar, and that water goes into a raised, what we call a dam sack, and that water, by gravity, we irrigate. So we are using nature to do our fodder farming. And that's something I would really encourage farmers to think about. The technology is there. Yeah. In terms of our green economy. Yeah. And we have high capacity storage systems, which I think we'll be able to show you. We'll see how it works. And we are very glad where it's taking us. So, in a little ways, let's solve some problems, but we can't solve all the problems. Maybe that space belongs to those who are in the leadership. Now,
are there any new skills that you have learned either about yourself in the process of being in the farm life?
I'm still learning. One of the things animals teach you is patience. I can be very patient. I like solutions. But an animal must grow. You feed it every day, and it must grow to become meat. Crops must grow. Farming is a very unique, it's a business, by the way. Farming is a business. Nobody can tell you, okay, there are those who do it as a hobby, but farming is a business. Successful farmers are successful businessmen. And what I see here is that it's something you learn every day. It's something you can, and it's very fulfilling. Yeah, if you study the character of a sheep and a goat, there's a lot of character development. people say, sitaki kuwa kama kondoo, but I like the sheep nature. Yeah, many people want to be like goats. Yeah? There's a lot of character. That one is a story for another day.
Right.
I can teach you character out of these two animals.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kinyua, for talking to us about your journey and how you started this farm that you have here. And good job. I'll come back next year. You've promised me when I'm coming back next year, we'll be at about 1,000?
We hope so.
1,000 animals.
I can't predict, we just hope.
Yeah.
That's it. You aim high.
Right.
I'll be back. You got to burn with ambition. Young people. I hope young people know it's ambition. You got to be ambitious in what you do. You got to have the right infrastructure.
Right.
You have to have the right passion and the right environment.
Great. Now there you've had it. We came all the way to Ngong to learn about the history of Base Camp Farm, which was started by Mr. Kinyua, and he calls it his retirement joy, not just a retirement plan. So dear young people, from wherever it is that you are watching us from, usingoja hadi ukue 60 ama 50 ndo unaanza kufikiria nitaretire kivipi. Make sure you also do get yourself a retirement joy, and the farm is actually not a bad idea. Let me leave you at that and go negotiate good prices for my T5. Okay? Thank you so much for watching.